हाय लिसन, चैनल पे वापस आने के लिए थैंक यू। सब्सक्राइब भी कर लो। यहाँ पर ना मैं फिल्मों के बारे में बात कर रही हूँ, लेकिन कोशिश कर रही हूँ कि फिल्म मेकर्स से भी बात की जाए, वो जो अपनी पहुँच के अंदर है लेकिन, और जो नई फिल्में बना रहे हैं या कुछ एक्सपेरिमेंटल नया करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। ऑनलाइन फिल्म फेस्टिवल्स का टाइम इस वक्त शुरू हो चुका है, राइट? बिकॉज अभी कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है, फिल्म फेस्टिवल तो करनी ही है, करने वाले कर रहे हैं। न्यूयॉर्क इंडिया फिल्म फेस्टिवल इज गोइंग ऑन, जिसमें मैंने देखी एक शॉर्ट फिल्म का नाम है मिसिंग, जिसको देख के दिमाग थोड़ा सा ट्विस्ट हो गया बिकॉज इट इज एक्सट्रीमली एक्सपेरिमेंटल. So it took me to a really weird, strange but interesting place where I want to talk about this film. और बात करने के लिए डायरेक्टर से बेहतर इंसान तो कोई होता नहीं है. तो अभी मेरे साथ जुड़ने वाले हैं in a few seconds from now विपिन शर्मा, the very same विपिन शर्मा जिनको आपने इतनी सारी फिल्मों में देखा है as an actor, starting from तारे ज़मीन पर where he played Darshil Safari's kind of evil father. But he's a lovely man. So let's go start talking with him. But before that, यहाँ तक आए गए हैं, सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए, मेरे दिल को खुशी होगी. ऐसे नंबर बढ़ते हैं ना तो अच्छा लगता है देखकर. अगली रिकॉर्डिंग जो आप देखने वाले हैं वो लैपटॉप पे शूट हुई है, तो उसकी वीडियो क्वालिटी इतनी अच्छी नहीं है जितनी इसकी है, क्योंकि मोबाइल फोन पे शूट हो रहा है. बट हु केयर्स. हेलो विपिन, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर जॉइनिंग मी टुडे.
यू वेरी वेलकम यार, थैंक्स फॉर हैविंग मी.
ऑफ कोर्स सर, मैंने आपकी शॉर्ट फिल्म देखी मिसिंग, जो अभी NYIFF पे स्क्रीन हो रही है. तो उसका स्केड्यूल बताइए फॉर पीपल हु आर वाचिंग. वो कहाँ देख सकते हैं जाकर? निकल गई स्क्रीनिंग की अभी बाकी है?
नहीं, 2 अगस्त तक है वो अभी. इट्स ऑन www. आजकल www लगाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती, बट दैट्स व्हाट इट इज. NYIFF.moviesaints.com. So anyone can Google New York Indian Film Festival. It should pop up, and then on the website it's in the short film section.
फेस्टिवल के बाद अगर कोई देखना चाहे, मान लीजिए ये वीडियो पे कोई 2 अगस्त के बाद आया देखने के लिए, तो कहाँ मिलेगी? कहीं मिलेगी? अभी कहीं जा रही है ऑनलाइन?
Well, अभी मैं ऑनलाइन इसको अभी रिलीज करना नहीं चाहता, because this is the very first festival it has gone out to, and I want to try many other festivals that are happening all over the world. So I want to try there, because if I put it out, then the festivals won't take it. So I am gonna just hold on for a bit.
Correct. Everybody has their weird rules कि अभी यहाँ पे चलेगी तो हम यहाँ नहीं लगा सकते, यहाँ चलेगी तो यहाँ नहीं लगा सकते. Totally understand. So when I saw the film Vipin, I would not have pegged you as somebody who would make an extremely experimental film like that. It's ridiculously experimental. You really have to surrender yourself to the film to get into it. So just for our viewers, a little bit, I'm going to give you a little bit background, then I'll ask Vipin about it. Ye film, it is set in Goa, and it is multiple lives that are maybe crisscrossing each other. Some lives that are not meeting each other at all. The continuous motive is that of rain. Now, two very interesting things that will stand out on the first viewing of the film is that most of it is in black and white. It goes into color sometimes, but it's mostly in black and white. And there is no dialogue. So tell me first about this, कि ये film गोवा में बारिश में shoot हुआ है, ये period film नहीं है, ये contemporary film है, तो ये black and white में क्यों है? I like that.
When I first went to Goa, it was many years ago. I had come back from Canada, and I went to old Goa, and I kind of really remembered the feeling that I had a great time.
Yeah.
Cut to many years later, Tare Zameen Par was selected for IFFI, and I went for the screening. And I kept looking for that Goa that was in my mind, and I could not find it. I'm like, where is that Goa that I remember when I first came? But
यहाँ पे तो पार्टियां चल रही हैं.
this time I fell in love with it. I was like, wow, I love Goa. So I started going there more often. I happened to be there once during the rains, and I went to the beach. All shacks shut down. There are no shacks on the beaches.
बारिशों में कोई जाता नहीं गोवा.
बारिश में कोई नहीं जाता. And I was totally amazed. I said, nobody knows this Goa. You know, and Goa, apart from the way we show it in the films, touristy destination and beaches and all that, other than that, there is another Goa also, right? There are people there. They're great. And Goa literature is amazing. You will be surprised how brilliant Goa literature is. I've read a lot of literature of Goa, actually. I'm totally in love with Goa. So I basically I thought I should do a film during the rains, and you know, there is this haunting feeling during the rains on the beaches, which I totally loved. It makes you a little melancholic, a little dreamy, little you know, it also is a sign of something that is beginning again. You know, you start seeing green.
Correct.
You never see that green in the entire year.
And you know, rainfall also, like I was talking to Anand Gandhi about this a few weeks back, and he's also used rainfall in a lot of his films. And we were discussing how rainfall is also a sign of abundance. कि कितना कुछ है, it's just too much, and it's just literally pouring on you, and you have explored loneliness in that space of abundance. My favorite track is that of the Punjabi mother who has come to Goa to look for her son. Now that son, I won't give it away, I won't give any spoilers, but that is one of the tracks in the film. So take me through कि क्या जो इतने सारे tracks हैं वो इतने सारे क्यों हैं? एक track क्यों नहीं है? इतने सारे लोग क्यों? वो भी एक short film के span में.
Well, initially the idea was that we wanted to make 3 short films and connect 3 short films, 3 short stories. Sorry, will move parallel to each other, and the characters will interact with each other at different various points. So there were 3 of us who were doing this film initially. Overall, I wanted to be the director of the film, and since I'm an editor, I wanted to edit the entire film. So what happened was, unfortunately, that didn't pan out very well, and in the end, I was left alone. And this lady, Punjabi lady, actually I met this lady once. Achha. I met this lady who had this poster that you see in the film. And she was looking for
just पे missing लिखा हुआ है, the actual poster.
And she was looking for her son, and I asked her, I said, how do you know how do you know he's here? She said, somebody told me he's in Goa because a lot of kids come to Goa and work here. Wow. So I heard from someone. I saw her standing in different places from a distance, and I felt for her. I felt how terrible it must be to looking for her son and not knowing anyone. The other 2 stories are kind of also, one is also based on a true story. A friend of mine told me long ago during my NSD days, he had broken his grandfather's glasses. Out of fear, he ran away from home for 3 days. And he was so scared that he'll get beaten up badly. So once friend come, बहुत उसको डर था बेचारे को, 3 दिन नहीं आया घर पे यार वो. I'm amazed. So I thought कि ये 3 दिन क्या किया होगा इसने? Out of guilt, So I took some part of that story and brought it in here. And then the third story is the stranger idea. And you won't believe, after I had almost finished the shooting, I met a guy who was my stranger character, the guy in the long hair and the white costume.
बाबाजी जैसा जो इंसान जो घूमते रहता है.
I met exactly the same guy who was there actually.
Wow.
And I was surprised that I didn't base my character on him, but places like Goa have characters. Nobody knows where they come from. You can see the same person in a day at 2-3 different beaches also actually.
विपिन मुझे बताएं, आप मुझे ट्रीटमेंट के बारे में बताओ इस फिल्म की, because इतने कुछ तो शॉट्स ऐसे हैं which just come out of nowhere, especially that grandfather. In one moment he's standing in a khandar, in one moment he's standing on his on the steps of his house. You decided that without dialogue you want to put in some text, जैसे पुरानी silent talkies में होता था, टेस्ट आ गया. So talk to me about this treatment. Like, why have you not treated this as like regular narrative storytelling? It is very, very experimental. Why like that?
Well, I wanted to make a silent film. I didn't want to have dialogues because I was so obsessed with the rains and characters in the rains.
वही काफी है.
वो मेरे लिए बहुत था, and that became a challenge. And I had a very hard time. You won't believe, I have seen my own film at least 300 times, not less than that actually. I have edited it for a very long time. And in the end, I felt a lot of things were clear in my head, but not for the people who watch it. So I thought, okay, let me treat it as a silent film, because I've been saying that no dialogue. So why not treat it as a black and white era silent film, kind of a tribute to silent film era, where you threw a card and made the story happen, See, the idea basically now, after I have gone through the process, is that everybody should read their own story in the film.
To make sense of it, you have to really surrender to the film and really just go to Goa with the film. तभी उसमें से मीनिंग निकल के आएगा. एंड शॉर्ट फिल्म्स मुझे बहुत एक्साइटिंग लगती हैं क्योंकि you are just thrown in the middle of action. There is no build up, there is no background, you don't know anything about the characters, you just thrown in the middle of the action. फिर में आपको आधा घंटा तो बिल्ड अप करने के लिए मिल गया, फिर आपने गाना डाल दिया, फिर आपका मेन कॉन्फ्लिक्ट आता है. शॉर्ट फिल्म कॉन्फ्लिक्ट से स्टार्ट होती है.
Yes, you have to say what you want to say very quickly actually.
Very quickly.
And also recently I came to know, I'm forgetting the word, there is a study in universities which studies to understand what an abstract is, understanding things that are not explained. They're not obvious to us, like through images, through symbols. My aim was that, okay, now this is the film, let people get their own stories out of it. You also feel participating in it. You're not just an observer shown this is what it is. You can actively participate and kind of create your own world, create your own story out of it. And
which is the mark of, I think, according to me, a good story, a good film, that when people derive their own meaning from it, and it says something to people, and it gets people to talk about feelings or emotions, that is a successful film to me. Anything that makes you think and then makes you talk. So you guys, छोटी फिल्म का नाम है, छोटी फिल्म, शॉर्ट फिल्म का नाम है मिसिंग. डायरेक्टर है विपिन, who's here with me right now. और ये मिसिंग आप देख सकते हैं, अभी स्ट्रीम हो रही है न्यूयॉर्क इंडिया फिल्म फेस्टिवल पे. These guys are very active on Twitter. Look them up. Look at the trailer of the film. Go watch the film if you can. Is this the first film you've directed, or have you made something that I haven't seen perhaps?
There is a project, Akki Vikki Te Nikki, that I've been working on for quite some time now, which I wrote and also edited, and I'm hoping that it should come out very soon. We had released one episode which got very good response at the TV18. It was nominated there for best comedy writing, and Zishan was nominated best actor comedy. You know, there are a couple of things that have been that I've been writing, screenplays that I've been writing. So in a way, Missing is my first kind of thing that has gone out officially to a festival as a film.
Direction, what you wanted to do always, or now it's just your logical next step from acting and editing, then back to acting, and now towards direction?
I think so. It is in that. It is. I mean, I you know, the stories I want to tell, I really want to make sure that I want to tell that story. Yeah. I don't want to direct for the sake of directing. I want to direct something that really has some kind of a understanding, some kind of a meaning for myself also. I want to do more things. I want to explore more. Just as an actor, of course, I'm going to keep acting. But I want to explore these other areas also, which are so fascinating. You know.
Now, so Tare Zameen Par was your second coming as an actor in the Hindi film industry after you returned from a long life that you lived in Canada. You've spoken about how you got the audition, so I'm not going to ask you to repeat that process again because you've spoken about it extensively, how you started acting again in your second innings. But now tell me about direction. What does it take to become as an outsider who's not, you know, a part of any production house, so to say, a big studio, so to say? What does it take to become a director?
I will let you know in few months or. Well, I've just started and I'm very excited. I don't know if you know Devansh Patel. He's a film critic and he's turned a producer now. He and I are working on a feature film project together. I have written the story and I'm co-writing the script with a very dear friend of mine, Vibhas. It's tough. It's not easy because it's not something, you know, because there's this money involved. You know, usually to do a film, you need a fairly decent amount of budget.
Yeah.
So there is a lot at stake, and to expect someone to kind of bet that money on you, you need to be well prepared for that. You need to be very sure this is what you want to deliver, and it's not easy. Why would somebody invest in something without actually really being sure that this is a good investment? Because for a producer, a film is a product. Apart from all the creativity and everything, it's a product that the producer needs to kind of sell, make money from it, so that they can make more films.
Yeah, correct. Any film is a miracle. When a film gets made at the end of it, it's miraculous how films get made. But so many things have to come together in the right place. And when you go to a movie set, you realize that actors are a very small part of the entire thing.
Absolutely.
The gamble is on the director. That a new director is the real gamble for a producer or a financier.
It's almost like a dysfunctional family who fights and comes across as a beautiful family in the end. But you know, because there are so many minds and so many egos on a film, there are so many differences of opinions in a film. That all is very different from each other. But all of that coming together as a film, and when people come and go and watch it, it's such a beautiful feeling. It is a great feeling.
पर आप किसी भी पिक्चर के बिहाइंड द सीन्स की एक्चुअल स्टोरीज में चले जाएं तो ये डिसफंक्शनल फैमिली की कहानियां ही आती हैं सारी सामने.
होगा because it's जहां बर्तन होंगे खटकेंगे बोलते हैं.
आवाज तो आएगी.
You know, one film is not one film. बर्गमन ने बहुत अच्छा बोला था कि एक फिल्म उतनी ही फिल्में जितनी ऑडियंस बैठ के देखती है. You know, if one film is watched by 100 people, so there are 100 films. Similarly, 100 people working on a crew, all 100 of them making their own film actually. And I think it's a very good thing to have creative differences, to have a healthy discussion. It is so beautiful. It is actually very important, which unfortunately I feel in India we lack. We are not courageous enough to each other to talk openly about our works and films, which I find it misses. Maybe it happens in a very amongst close friends.
ऐसे में I think short films का जो ecosystem है, it becomes even more important, I believe, because then you are able to showcase your capability as a director on a smaller budget, and
Yeah.
which people can watch.
I think in the West, people call it the calling card film.
Yeah.
And a lot of the new filmmakers, it's their calling card. You know, and there are grants for calling card to give emerging filmmakers money to make a film. And I think it is very good because a short film really, really helps you to understand your own process. Ultimately, it is your process, whether you apply it to a short film, whether you apply it to a feature film. The process is same. You deal with the actors, you deal with the cameraman, you deal with the editing, you deal with the music. Everything is same. It's just the scale is different. So, agar wo itne scale mein, if you can show your efficiency in this scale, obviously when the things become bigger, you will be able to do it because you have shown that. And also you understand a lot of the things, and you understand what is needed to make a film actually. And I think it's a great exercise. It's wonderful. Everybody should make a short film.
Vipin, what would you like to say to short filmmakers who are perhaps watching this? Like, if there's from your own experience of making your first short film and getting it to an international film festival.
You know, one thing that I'm very clear about short films, I have refused a lot of short films, acting wise, and I've done some brilliant I've been part of some very brilliant short films. Shazia's film Bebak, I did a film in Ahmedabad about a year ago that is also an amazing short film that should come out very soon. I think if you want to make a short film, really, really be sure that it is very unique. Doing a regular, normal short film, which goes in a very typical, you don't have to make a short film as a feature film. A great short film is something that you can't imagine that it could be a feature film actually, in a way. Or it should be that you see the seed of a very big film in that. The idea has to be very unique. Otherwise, there is no point in making a short film because not every story is can be a short film. Some things are, if you've written a short story, maybe it's just a short story. It's not a short film. So there is no need to make it into a film. Leave it as a short story.
मतलब उस short film के format को short film एक unique format की तरह treat किया जाए. उसको एक mini feature film की तरह treat ना किया जाए. क्योंकि जैसे for instance मिसिंग जैसी फिल्म जो ट्रीटमेंट है इस फिल्म की और जिस तरीके से स्क्रीन प्ले और जिस तरीके से उसको एडिट किया गया है, ये सिर्फ शॉर्ट फिल्म फॉर्मेट में ही सक्सेसफुल हो सकता है. ये फीचर में नहीं चलेगा.
नहीं जा सकता, बिल्कुल
नहीं जा सकता. I completely agree. In fact, the first time we met was at the Film Critics Guild Short Film Awards only, right? So, that's what we are also trying to do at the Film Critics Guild. We started with the Short Film Awards because
you guys are doing an amazing. I am really such a huge fan of all of you, Film Companion, and all of you are such. We need that, we need that. Why not? We need a solid, healthy criticism of our films so that we grow. We need to listen to the criticism. We need to understand. And criticism is not criticism. Criticism is analysis.
Critiquing और criticizing में जो फर्क है ना, वो समझ नहीं आता.
हम लोग पता नहीं क्यों थोड़ा डरे रहते हैं. मुझे लगता है कि बहुत अच्छा होगा. एक बेबाक कन्वर्सेशंस होनी चाहिए यार, कहानियों पे, सिनेमा पे. क्यों नहीं हम खुल के बोलें? बिल्कुल. That's how we will grow in acting, in writing. And we do lack in so many areas. And also, there is some amazing stuff happening now, writing and acting. So look at some of the brilliant actors that are coming. Look at some of the new writers.
Also because now we have internet everywhere. So every story can reach so much wider than it did even about 5 years ago. And if stories are reaching wider, then conversations about them should also reach wider. I mean, हमारी कोशिश रहती है. अभी देखो ना, मैंने अपना YouTube चैनल ऐसे ही शुरू कर दिया. मन में आया कि चलो बैठ के पॉल थॉमस एंडरसन की पिक्चरें देखेंगे, उसके बारे में बात करेंगे, तुम्बाड़ के बारे में भी बात करेंगे, बिकॉज़ कहीं तो करे. यूज करो इंटरनेट को.
It's needed. It's brilliant. You've done a fantastic job. It's amazing actually.
You're very sweet.
To have that courage is amazing.
घर पे बैठ के लॉकडाउन में क्या करे इंसान? कुछ तो करना ही है, तो कर रहे हैं. हम फिल्में देख रहे हैं और फिल्मों के बारे में बातें कर रहे हैं. कॉन्वर्सेशन जरूरी है फिल्मों के आसपास, बिकॉज फिल्में चाहे आप कितना भी बोल ले कोई इंसान की एंटरटेनमेंट के लिए बनती है सिर्फ फिल्में, कोई भी कहानी का एक इम्पैक्ट जरूर होता है. चाहे आपको अगले दिन इम्पैक्ट दिखाई ना दे, एक लॉन्ग टर्म हैबिचुअल इम्पैक्ट
बिल्कुल
100% होता है स्टोरीज का.
And Sucharita, cinema, they say, is the most influential medium because cinema has everything. Cinema is a culmination of all art forms, and cinema reaches the fastest in the world. If I don't live in Germany, the lot of the stuff about that country I can only come to know in a very tactile experiences through cinema. You know, किताबों से भी होता है, पढ़ सकते हो, लेकिन the fastest reaches is cinema. So that's where in contemporary times, platforms like Movie, I mean, I am totally hooked. I remember I was asking you something on Twitter once कि मैं क्यों नहीं देख पा रहा हूँ.
Correct.
Now the whole library is on
Yeah.
and it's just brilliant. I saw this amazing documentary by Werner Herzog yesterday. 40,000 साल पहले जो cave paintings हैं.
हाँ.
It's a film on that actually.
Yeah, वर्नर हर्ज़ॉग की वो भी है, फैमिली रोमांस LLC भी है मूवी पर.
हाँ, वो मैंने देखनी शुरू की है अभी.
तो विपिन, इधर उधर की बहुत बातें हो गई, बहुत मजा आया, वेरी फन. अब मुझे बताएं आपका लॉकडाउन कैसा जा रहा है और आप क्या कर रहे हैं पेंडेमिक में?
यार कभी-कभी तो बहुत बुरी हालत हो जाती है. I almost feel like crying.
Because you know, रोना अच्छा भी होता है.
And I live alone and I live by myself, so it becomes little overwhelming. But I'm sure it's the same thing with people who are living with families or with partners also. It's the same thing because it's that feeling of being locked in. The freedom is there's no freedom. You know, we've lost it completely. But fortunately, I missing is a result of lockdown in a way, because as I said, I've been editing this film for quite some time. So when lockdown happened, I went back to it. I said, okay, let me look at it from a very fresh perspective. It was 1 hour long and I reduced it to 28 minutes. Fortunately, I've been also writing dialogues for a web series. Started working on my own screenplay that I was telling you about with Devansh and Vibhas. So been working on that also. Plus, I've gone back to my Akki Wiki Te Nikki stuff. I am actually now started putting it all together. आराम नगर में बहुत सारे एक्टर्स हैं जो स्ट्रगलर्स बोलते हैं, जिनको हम लोग दरवाजे पे आके पूछते हैं ऑडिशन है, आप बोलते हो नहीं है तो बोलते हैं क्यों नहीं है. So they are also they are majorly part of it actually. Trying to be productive and you know not let the negativity take over.
शूट्स वगैरह शुरू हो गई हैं, आपका क्या ख्याल है उनके बारे में? बड़ी-बड़ी फिल्मों की शूटिंग.
यार मेरे को ना लग रहा है जल्दबाजी नहीं करनी चाहिए. I am of the opinion that we should not rush to shoots. I understand that it might be a matter of livelihood for many people, but I think the producers and production houses should take care of that. Yeah, if they are happening and all the measures are taken and everything is going well, yeah, sure, why not? But personally, I think a bit more patience would be nice.
आपकी पिक्चर मैंने देखी और मुझे लगा कि आपसे बात करनी बड़ी जरूरी है इस पिक्चर के बारे में, क्योंकि एक तो आप डायरेक्शन में भी है, जाना चाह रहे हैं या इंटरेस्टेड है, इसके बारे में मुझे नहीं मालूम था, ये मुझे पहली इन्फॉर्मेशन पता चली. और दूसरी डायरेक्शन भी, तो मतलब व्हाट काइंड ऑफ डायरेक्शन, लाइक आई वुड नॉट इन अ मिलियन इयर्स इमेजिन that Vipin Sharma will make a film like Missing, which is a really it's an absurdist cinema, the genre of cinema, not absurd in the literal sense, but it's absurdist genre of cinema, and it's just fascinating, and I love that genre. I love absurdism.
I'm a sucker for that too. I love.
Thanks for your time today, Vipin. What fun, na?
Thanks. Yeah, it was great actually. Hopefully we'll do season 2.
Yeah. आप दूसरी फिल्म बनाएं and then we'll talk about it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you, Vipin.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye, Sucharita. Bye.